Hey, welcome to 2 Cents, everybody. This is a weekly Dollar Views recap show where we talk TV, tech, and movie news, plus anything else that floated my boat. It's March 20th, 2016, the final episode before Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice hits theaters. I'm excited. I got my Thursday ticket. Still looking for a person to replace Steve. Say hello, folks.
Hello.
And we're agreed this...
Yep, I'm not going to be here for, well, first off, because A, I'm busy, so I want to sleep, but also
Disinterested, we got it.
I just didn't get a ticket in time, like I did talk to you about. I was thinking about doing it, and that now they're all sold out, so I'm literally unable to make the screening. It's out of my control now.
You just step into the back of one of your auditoriums. But also joining us this week is David Hunko.
Good evening.
He's staying on. He just did The Passion of Christ with us. That's going to be out on Wednesday. Nothing to preface the show with other than our social media stuff. We're just one like shy of 75 now. I'm doing this thing. If I get 75 likes, I'm going to shave 75% of my beard off. If I get 100, I'm going to shave the whole thing off completely. And 200, I'll cut my stupid mullet. I'm calling it hashtag Make Brian Cute Again. You can see the campaign on Facebook.
And if we get to 100, I believe I also said that I will drink a whole gallon of milk on camera.
Yeah, you'll die doing that.
Because that's the most I could think of at that moment. There's got to be something.
You will
better,
die. Drinking a whole... are you saying like you're going to do it over a long course of time?
Like what, an hour?
Yeah, you're not chugging the thing, right?
No, I will die if I do that.
Just checking.
Yeah. I'll probably vomit, but I don't know. I mean, isn't that what happens if you try doing it in less than an hour? Isn't that the...
I mean,
that's the contest,
be cheap.
right?
Just do like fat-free or skim, and be a lot easier on your body.
No.
But
no,
I
I can't. I'm very dedicated.
I don't think you
have to
should
go
do
through
this.
If you don't have a Facebook or you do not like liking things on there, there are other ways to find us social media. Twitter, namely, @DollarReviews. Also all over the place. YouTube, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud. We try to be everywhere at once. iTunes. You can also go dollarviews.net. So let's start the show off really fast. My name is Brian Gillis, as I already said. Probably the coolest thing that happened this week was that we got clarification from Disney. It is happening. Lucasfilm, when they purchased it, we knew something else was going to happen besides Star Wars. It is Indiana Jones 5. It is coming July 19, 2019. Harrison Ford, Steven Spielberg, Kathleen Kennedy, and Frank Marshall are all coming back, but sadly George Lucas is not. David Coep is writing, who's worked on Jurassic Park, the first Spider-Man movie, and also, sadly, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls. What was your reaction? What was this, on Wednesday, I think it was?
Yeah.
Me, you know what? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I don't care. That might be a bunch of stuff this week. I don't care about Batman versus Superman, but yeah, this, like my friend was texting me about this the whole time, and he kept saying things like, I wouldn't mind if they actually bring Shia back for the next one, but I just kept saying over and over again, I wouldn't mind if they did make it at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Harrison Ford's gonna be like 76 or something ridiculous, 71.
I mean, that's not the complaint. It's just with Indiana Jones, it's like, you know what, I feel like a reboot might make more sense. Maybe. I mean, hey, they're making it. I'm not opposed to it or anything. If it turns out to be good, then I'll shut up. But yeah, my reaction was, okay, well, there's another thing I don't need, but hopefully it ends up being cool. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm not expecting it to be...
Can't be worse than the last one.
Better or worse than Crystal Skull. I don't think Crystal Skull's bad, honestly.
They brought aliens to...
interdimensional deep beings.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, this is a series where if you open a chest, then God comes out and melts Nazis' faces.
There's a difference between setting the mythology that Indiana Jones is collecting based on religious things, hashtag Passion of the Christ, listen to our episode, and doing something that's interdimensional beings and kind of breaking the mold in terms of what they cover in their franchise. It is the shark jumping moment.
Played around with what was most popular at the time, which is, like, okay, in the 30s, yeah, there were adventure serials like that, and then in the 50s you got B-movie sci-fi. The jumping the shark moment is the nuking the fridge moment. That's the one where I'm like, no, aliens I'm cool with. That fridge, no.
Well, the good news is
just doesn't make sense.
That fridge nuking happened so early on that you just come to accept that everything happens after is bullshit. Maybe he died and this is like his vision of the future. I'm not sure.
No, it's over the top. I mean, it's a fun kind of reunion movie, and it's still very much in the spirit of what that series is. Yeah, so I don't feel it's a bad movie at all whatsoever. It's very much like what a lot of old franchises are doing now, is that they are just making installments. They're bringing people back just to appeal to nostalgia, and that's what Crystal Skull does, and I think it does it fine. It's not amazing or anything, but yeah, I thought it was a fun movie when all is said and
I mean,
done.
the problem is that they're doing the same exact thing again. They did that with Crystal Skulls. Are doing that with 5. It's going to be the same thing, just a new thing. And I guess they're going to try to
They're
sell
just doing
this.
it without George Lucas.
Exactly. That's
what's
probably
happening.
how they're going to try to sell it to audiences. Like, look how good Episode 7 came out. And, we got the same producers from that film, and we got the same star, and he's in this one. It's going to be good, guys. Like, I think that's how they're selling this film.
Hashtag bring Shia back.
No.
Mutt Williams was just not a good character.
What is wrong? Seriously, no. What's wrong with him? I mean, nothing wrong with Shia's screen presence in that.
I don't buy him as
franchise.
the
It's
son
just
Indiana
they don't-
Jones at all.
I don't have a problem with it.
I just don't see it.
That's the best I could say.
He can't follow Harrison Ford.
Who can follow Harrison Ford, honestly?
Josh Hartnett, I could see that. I could have seen
Is that
that.
a segue?
No, I legitimately
segue?
could have seen that.
Isn't he like 40 or 50?
What?
Josh Hartnett?
No, he's like
probably in his
Yeah.
40s.
he's probably like late 30s, early 40s.
Really?
I mean,
He's
he was
famous
he
in
was
the
in his
late
mid
90s.
20s in the late 90s, so that was 20 years ago.
All right, yeah, so 40s,
Like
yeah.
40s,
Early
yeah.
to mid 40s. I mean, he's on
His
that Penny
show's
Dreadful
pretty
show,
good.
so.
Yeah, that's
Um,
a good show.
Yeah, but I don't have a segue to this one exactly. We were talking about last week how The Little Prince got lost in the heap that Paramount kicked it out. It was supposed to be in theaters this weekend. It did find a home. Netflix is going to be premiering it sometime later this year. This is really cool. I mean, I really like that. This is a critically acclaimed, like universally loved film. I probably wasn't going to go out to see it in theaters, but I definitely will check this out when it's streaming. Or you could just watch it like the rest of the world and find, either a foreign copy since it's on Amazon in France, or less legal means.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched it when I was in Switzerland, I thought it was cool that I got it, but then you reminded me, they probably have that available to download now,
Yeah.
right? Since you watched it on Blu-ray, and I mean, yeah, but I really did want to see this in theaters here, and I'm actually I'm really bummed, but I'm also not surprised, especially since it's available everywhere
Yeah.
else, and I mean, yeah, anyone that's probably seen it has downloaded it for free already in the States. So
I wouldn't be surprised if it still gets a theatrical release, though, just because of the nature of the film and that it has a brand name. They might do a theatrical for this, probably a lot bigger than they did for Beasts of No Nations, and it might make that
Yeah,
money.
I really do want to see it in 3D too. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Although I'm pretty sure that they're not going to do a theatrical release. They're probably just going to keep it at home because I mean, this is a great way for families to watch
Yeah.
this movie. But really bums me out though on some level.
That it's not going to be in theaters.
We don't.
Yeah, I mean, well, I really
We don't
did-
know.
I already saw the movie.
They haven't
yeah,
announced
but
it even a month yet, so it's
We will
definitely
see,
all
yeah.
speculation.
And I think it's still making some film festival rounds in places, but
Something we've been tracking for the last 2 weeks, though, that we now know is a true thing. Also, Netflix, they're going to be putting $90 million up for David Ayer's next film, Bright, the Max Landis script. Max Landis himself is making $3 million for a spec script, which is pretty ridiculous.
you're very impressed with that.
The whole internet is. A spec script hasn't sold for that amount in like 10 years. If you're not in the Hollywood system, if you're not writing for the studio at the time, it's not happening. I mean, the last big spec script was his. It was Chronicle, and that, I don't know the number. I'm guessing it made like $250,000.
No, didn't the script for White House Down? I think that was 1.5 million. That's the last one I heard that.
I mean, that was still,
was paid for
a
lot
good
of
number
money.
of years back. But three's a big chunk of change, and with 90,
Spec script?
yeah, and you just know with 90 mil as a budget that this is definitely going to be hitting the big screen. Hopefully in 3D. I really like the premise here. Are you familiar with what the story is, David?
No.
No, so it's kind of like a cross between Alien Nation and like Men in Black. You have Will Smith, who's a human cop, and Joel Egerton, who's like an orc, and they have to work like hand in hand to find like this magic wand, and or something like that. And they're both cops. So I mean, Netflix definitely believes in it. Warner's and a whole bunch of the studios wanted to too, but they weren't going to foot the bill that it actually got. I mean, David Ayer and Will Smith, they just wrapped Suicide Squad, so they like one another. This is probably going to be set in L.A. I really hope that it's shot there, especially since film credits are actually happening in our city. Well, not your guys' city, but mine. But yeah, I really hope that this comes out, hopefully later this year to try to leapfrog off of Suicide Squad. But even if it's early next, that would still be great.
They still got. I mean, are they in production?
No, it's
I
still
mean,
pre.
He still has to finish Suicide Squad. Yeah,
But I'm pretty sure they're
if they'll
done
be
with
able to do that
Suicide
in
Squad.
time.
They're just probably doing color correction, editing, making the music work.
Yeah, that's still quite a lot of work, but I'm pretty sure there's more to that too. There's probably VFX.
Suicide Squad is what, August?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the 21st or the 18th. It's one of those.
Mhm.
Coming soon. This is interesting. I read it on The Verge. Really bizarre. It's kind of something that we kind of fear just by being internet users, and it turns out to be true. Apparently, Universal Studios, they made 2 different Facebook trailers for Straight Outta Compton based on the race of the viewer. If the viewer was non-Hispanic or black, they got one that used Ice Cube and Dr. Dre as both an actor and the face of Beats by Dre, respectively, to advertise the film. And if you were black or Hispanic, they did it by NWA started with these guys. Kind of saying that you don't understand the backstory unless you come from an urban area, which is fair, but it's pretty interesting that they would...
Still profiling.
Yeah, that they would use metadata
which is
in this
essentially
way.
That's what Facebook does by design, but
Yeah.
still,
It's
fuck them. That's racist.
it's kind of racist. Yeah, it's I would believe Facebook would do something like this. They probably went to Universal. You could if they like basketball and they like Trey Songz and like Purple Drank, then yeah, why don't you show them that one that you got? Otherwise, you might have to teach them that "Are We There Yet" was a rapper once upon a time.
No, I mean, the very nature though of marketing at the same time is racist. I mean, marketing is based at appealing for demographics. So, yeah, profiling is a part of it, but yeah, still fuck them. That's racist, and also it
I
makes
would
sense.
like to find these trailers. I hope someone out there has copies of them. I want to see how. Like I read the breakdowns.
I mean, how did this news get out? Like they confirmed that they did
Yeah.
that, or someone just discovered
Yeah, I
it?
think someone at The Verge figured it out, or they were talking to people. Like you said, it's a good article. Just Google, The Verge, NWA, Facebook marketing. But yeah, I think that this is something that's going to happen more and more as we move forward, especially with the way metadata works. It's something that Edward Snowden was trying to warn us about, and others. I was like seeing this thing on Nat Geo earlier about Generation
Well,
X.
this isn't
and
this isn't necessarily new though. I mean, you get depending on what network you are, like Cartoon Network and ESPN, if they got a TV spot for something like, I don't know, let's say Batman versus Superman, I mean, this isn't an extreme version of that like this, but yeah, they are going to be tailor-made to fit to that specific
the
demographic.
difference-
One's going to be more kiddie, the other one's going to be more intense.
The difference, though,
BET
is
probably
that
has different spots for
in,
some movies. I
in
don't know.
the example
for all
that
I know.
you're giving, if someone's watching that channel, then yeah, you can kind of speculate what their interest would be and how they lean in terms of a tone or things of that nature.
Okay.
But when you're
But this is based on
yes, when
their
you're
beliefs.
targeting
this is
someone
what-
based
Yeah,
on
that's worse.
what
You're
they
right.
like
That's worse.
specifically and what their makeup, their racial makeup is, and things like that, and where they live, and when you actually break down who they are on the internet to make a specialized version of an advertisement for one movie with a singular vision, just strange. It makes sense, like I
Strange,
said.
but it's the world we live in.
Exactly. Like it shouldn't be a shock. I wasn't surprised. I just went, wow, that's something that I think we can definitely talk about on the show.
Can you imagine just like probably 5 years from now, maybe more, maybe less, like computers will be so smart that they will be able to edit trailers on the spot just to appeal to you specifically?
Probably. I mean,
Sure,
Google.
yeah.
That is scary.
Google's AlphaGo beat the world champion in Go this week. 4 games to 1. So
Yep.
AI is getting there.
AI is
yeah.
getting there. Metadata is getting there. The more stuff we buy into on the internet, the more we like, the more we
Yeah.
click. You know,
Like,
everything's getting analyzed.
Amazon knows exactly what you watch on Amazon Prime. They know what you buy. They know where you ship it to. They know how frequently you buy toilet paper, you know? They're not using anything yet with that data, but when they put it all together, they have a pretty scary vision of who you are as a person. You ever on Facebook and you're scrolling through and it says, "We're thinking of you. You might want to buy this controller." And you're like, "I was looking at that 2 hours ago. Why are they advertising it to me?" It's a little creepy the way they use their cookies really effectively.
I get sponsored ads, and like, I knew that these were going to come up as soon as I marked that I'm officially living in Texas now. But yeah, now I'm like getting a bunch of stuff like meet women in Austin and all sorts of stuff like that. I mean, that's not as obvious.
You
but
don't have
of course
to be
that was bound to happen right when you
lonely
change your
at
address.
farmersonly.com. I was watching PBR earlier today. No shame. So yeah, we were just talking about Universal staying with their parent company Comcast. This is something that we tracked the other week when we talked about MGO movies being sold to them. Well, we were right on the money. They're rebranding MGO as Fandango now, and it's by the end of this month, in fact, it's going to be aiming to attract users just in time for The Force Awakens to debut digitally on April 1st. And Fandango is claiming that they sold 37% of the sales for the latest Star Wars flick. The CEO himself, or president rather, said, "We want to be the host of the movie experience across the total life cycle of a movie." So, yeah, they were talking about the super ticket and finding a way of when you buy it, a pre-sale. We'll use Batman versus Superman, for instance. You buy the ticket a month in advance. Through the streaming site, you're able to watch Man of Steel as part of the ticket, and then, you can get a free streaming token when it's on home video. It does make sense, especially for a website of that caliber. And now, to just reiterate, Rotten Tomatoes is also part of the Fandango network. So is movie clips on YouTube. They definitely have a little empire there. Not a monopoly yet, but it's getting somewhere situated close to that. So
Plus, they did this before, though, with The Hobbit also,
yeah,
right?
super tickets, yeah. But this is, MGO becoming Fandango now. It is a very vertically aligned. It is a streamlined thing that if you are going to buy a pre-sale through Fandango, which I did for Batman versus Superman, that they're gonna be able to send you an email. "Hey, remember that movie that you saw 3 months ago? Now it's on digital. You can watch it through our website. Here's a $5 off code," or something like that. They're gonna corner the market for a certain demographic.
Can you buy the movie there?
I'm not sure exactly. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, it's not iTunes.
And they give you like a discount code, so there's
Yeah, like I'm speculating here, but you can go to mgomovies.com. I think it's just MGO, and they do have a good amount of content, and I'm sure it's only going to get bigger and bigger. I wouldn't be surprised if Universal has, their certain of their films exclusively on that website. Not something like Fast or Furious or their monster movies, but something a little smaller, maybe something through Focus Features. That way, you have to use their service. Everything's changing, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this is right along the same lines. Redbox's parent company, Outerwall, they might be selling off the last visage of the physical video rental. They're currently being pressured by their investors to get rid of the thing. So who knows where it's going to land. I just think it would be really funny if Netflix bought the box. Because
they would. They tried to buy Blockbuster.
Well, the other way around, yeah. Blockbuster. They tried to get Blockbuster to buy them, but yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't do that. Like,
they were
merge
stupid.
that with their DVD mailing service. That would be cool.
Netflix,
actually,
right?
If
Yeah. If there was a kiosk in the same way that they have the Amazon physical retail stores.
Mm-hmm.
Like they know what
That'd be
movies
cool.
are popular in your neighborhood, and you can just go up to it and buy the thing. Or better yet, like you have really low data on your phone, you can use NFC to wirelessly transfer a physical or like a digital copy onto your phone on the spot.
I like that.
But
That's cool.
they have to come up with something new, because it would be really sad if Redbox died, because then unless you have that local chain, you're really dead in the water. You're gonna have to go digital or just bite the bullet and buy the thing at Best Buy for $30 day one.
Yeah, well, I do think, I said this since 2009, that by 2016, everything's going to be streamable. Like, that includes the death of physical media. And here we are, 2016, and it's slowly just being gutted, or well, not really slowly. It's happening right now, and I'm kind of bummed, but I'm not like it's like it was bound to
Yeah.
happen. So
I mean-
whatever.
I'd jump on Redbox's ashes.
Right.
Although the thing is that people still get mainly DVDs from them, like so
Well, they're also a video game
Some
rental
people get
service.
Blu-ray.
I mean, they
Sure.
do
Yeah, that too,
DVDs,
but-
Blu-rays, PS3, PS4, Xbox One. So they do have a larger purpose than just watching movies. I mean,
But it is largely
Yeah.
DVDs, though.
Yeah.
And that is that's such old physical media at this point. I mean, that's almost 20 years old.
you pay money
it's
to
old,
see
it's
VHS
inconvenient,
copies
you
at
forget to
theaters.
return them.
So
It's
Sorry,
sorry.
I pay
I'm
what?
saying Steve pays money to watch VHS copies at movie theaters. So
With an audience at a place that has a good beer selection and good food. That's
still paying
why,
to watch
you know?
VHS.
It's not like I go to a traditional theater and pay to watch a VHS tape just in a normal seat chewing on popcorn and soda. No, it's very different.
The crowd's more pretentious.
I'm paying more for the atmosphere, and it's only $1 just to get in.
Well, they
And no, the
don't
crowd's
get
awesome.
the money. They don't make anything off of that dollar. They make the money off of you buying their tasty beer.
Food. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
you would know this. You would know this because you work at a Regal Cinema, and this is our next talking point. The chain that was the first to start searching bags in the whole active shooter situation is going to be the first in another thing. Currently, AMC, Cinemark, Regal, they all have this no one under 6 after 6 policy for R-rated films. Well, they're going a step beyond, and they're going to say no one under 6, period, anytime at all for an R-rated movie, which is something I really like.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite stories this week. Absolute favorite. I hate going to the movies, and I'm sorry if any of your listeners have children, but I hate children in movies that I'm watching. Like
Go
my
to the
Mad
Alamo
Max
Draft
experience.
House. You don't have to worry about that.
Whoa, there was kids.
Somebody brought their baby to
There's
the theater.
kids in Mad Max. Oh,
Yeah, somebody brought like a screaming kid to. Somebody brought a kid when I saw American Sniper.
I can understand that
And
one
then-
a little bit more.
Oh man,
Totally freaked out. The drill scene? Are you kidding me?
I mean, that wasn't that hard of a R though.
I mean, somebody's head was being drilled open. That's pretty bad for
Yeah.
a toddler to see.
I mean, I
it
don't
doesn't
know,
matter.
like-
Doesn't matter how hard the R was. It diminished
was an R.
my movie going experience.
American Sniper was already.
I mean, like when I saw Age of Ultron, which is PG-13, I had a pretty shitty crowd. So yeah, if I was in Mad Max, I'd probably be really mad. I have had those kind of experiences with kids in the theater. And this is something that we talked about on 2 Cents Before. Actually, it was episode 4, Go Ride or Go Home, which is gonna. It's kind of you can tell this is episode 38 now. So we don't talk about this all the time, but it is important. But yeah, I really want you to keep us posted, Steve, in terms of if you get like some kind of handout this week at work about when this is going into play, if it already is in fact, or anything along those lines, because the way that Regal's kind of tipping the line here and doing first, especially like I said with bag checks and now this, they are a front runner in terms of how the MPAA and the National Atlantic Theater Owners Association kind of play ball, and it's going to have greater ramifications down the line.
well, just a side note, I probably won't say anything at least while I'm working there because, unlike you, no, I do not like talking about where I work while I'm working there.
But I didn't say
I'm a fairly
I
private
didn't
person.
say one thing at all about AMC on our show. You don't remember that?
Oh yeah, you talked
No,
about it all the
I would
time.
not say what chain I worked at.
Okay, well, you just said what chain I am, what one of my jobs
Because
is.
it's
so,
it's
yeah, I
relevant to
can't-
the talking point. I didn't say what your position is, what theater, or how long you've been there.
Yeah, well, no, I probably won't say anything
Okay.
just because I just don't.
Well, you can tell me
I
privately.
I like to be private.
And I'll,
like
I'll
that.
tweet
Yeah.
it out to our
Yeah, of
listener
course.
base. But yeah, like I said, this is
Yeah, I can't cut this out
Nope,
now because
I'm
you're,
editing.
You're putting
Sorry.
this. Yeah,
Uh,
you screwed me over like that.
well,
yeah.
like I said, the future of things. Last week we were talking about Sean Parker's The Screening Room, and who supported it. The line back then was a lot of people: Steven Spielberg, Brian Grazer, Ron Howard. A lot of guys were having shown their support, but now there's a lot of people that aren't. Brett Ratner, M. Night Shyamalan, and most unsurprisingly, Christopher Nolan have all joined James Cameron and John Landau in their disapproval for this new form of streaming at home. If you didn't catch it last week, the way it works is you pay $150, you get this box, it's pirate-proof, and then you rent movies for $50 at a time to watch them in the glory of your own living room. And Landau said, both Jim and I remain committed to the sanctity of the in-theater experience. For us, from both the creative and financial standpoint, it is essential for movies to be offered exclusively in theaters for their initial release. We understand why the industry would want to provide audiences with an incentive to skip the best form to experience the art that we work so hard to create. I don't think they're right here. They were for a time. It makes sense. You got to remember, this is the producer of Titanic and Avatar, two of the most successful films globally ever. So, of course, he wants to keep his profits. But, you know, we were just talking about this, kids, especially in R-rated films, after a certain time and how that can ruin the experience. But on top of that, sticky floors, people kicking their seats, people on their phones, you know, active
If
shooting.
you're tall, it's a pain in the
Oh,
ass.
yeah, for you, active shooter environments.
See, that's the thing, is that I am with them on the fact that, yeah, this sucks. Like, I am totally for preserving the movie experience. I'm not for this idea, but I'm understanding of it, because the biggest problem with this is people, and it's people that fucking ruin everything. It's why we can't have nice things. It's got nothing to do with the way the experience is itself. Although, you know, thankfully, since I moved out here, I have not had a bad theatrical experience
Lucky
yet,
you.
and that's... Yes, more chains need to be like the Alamo Drafthouse. You know, if you fucking talk or text, you get kicked out. I've seen it happen
Nice.
too, and it's pretty fucking awesome. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and plus, you know, you get different options of seeing some movies on different formats, and
You come in a poster boy?
you really get it all, man. It's really nice.
I said
Sorry,
you're a
what?
poster boy now? They should pay you money.
I
for
want
them?
to go see a movie there now.
You should try to get sponsored.
I'm just
Tell them to
saying,
sponsor
like,
our
compared
podcast.
to how I'm just saying, compared to how many times I've bitched about, like, you know, bad movie experiences over the summer, like, especially at chains, like, it's really, like, people that are the problem, and, like, that is one of the few places that I feel like I can go see a movie and I don't have to worry at all about if someone's going to bother me. And, you know, I mean, that's nice, because every time, like, whatever movie it was, like, if it was a big movie like Avengers, fucking
Horrible.
guaranteed, hands down, there would be one
Oh, yeah.
person behind me, like, talking or doing shit like that, you know, or if it was like Spectre
My
or something.
rewatch of Phantom,
Fucking-
episode 7 was horrible. I had someone kicking my seat. Someone down the front had their iPad out, not an iPhone, an iPad. It was one of the worst movie-going experiences I've ever done, and it was in 3D, which is really crazy because no one almost ever pays for a 3D ticket. If they do, they're not assholes. But yeah, like, you know, these people that are against this at-home policy, besides, you know, the argument about, well, what about the people that are disabled or are paralyzed or whatever, and they can't go to the theater? Like, what if you were in the hospital and you're, you know, doing chemo and you literally can't go to the theater anymore? But yeah, on top of that, these filmmakers, they don't have the theater-going experience we have. They don't see it with, you know, the regular person off the street who isn't like, oh, I'm in the church of motion pictures right now. They're like, I'm in a dark room. I pay this money. I do whatever the fuck I want. I can leave the nachos on the ground. I can make a mess. I can do anything. And it isn't the same. It's been deteriorating for a long time. And the bigger the movie, the worse the environment is. Unless it's a midnight. And that's why I kind of have to go to midnights for certain things. I don't want people applauding for no reason in the middle of the film. Like, I want to hear the dialogue, not have to, like, watch it again to get that little sliver of a joke that I should have heard the first time. But the big thing here is I think that they're missing, you know, they're talking about, oh, at home, unless you have like a 100-inch TV plus, you're not getting the same experience. This is the year of VR. You have headsets that allow a simulated 220-inch screen right in front of your face, where you're guaranteed the best seat, where you can wear whatever you want, where your environment is whatever you have in front of you. You can drink whatever you want to.
You can fuck around as much as you
Exactly.
want.
You could do whatever you want at all for only $50.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
the
I
biggest
love
problem
this.
here is that, I hate, like, it is a people issue, and I hate more of what this means, of just how shitty, like, and less respectful people are becoming. That's what I hate, but you can't control that. I mean, the thing that I think should be done, and of course it won't be, but I think we should go with the Joe Carnahan proposal that every theater should have two sections, a talking and texting section, and just one where you're quiet and you want to watch the movie. And that talking and texting section is also a sterilization center. So
you're
know,
talking about
sit down, you
segregation
can talk and text
and
all you
the
want,
ultimate
but
solution.
just saying, hey, if you want to text, then you got to get sterilized. That's the
You
trade-off.
get the
can't have
showers
kids.
turned on you.
We can't have any more of you. So that's it right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right before the movie, you put them in the front. Everyone gets to look down on them.
But
right as the showers turn on.
in an era defined by people showing up fashionably late or trying to get the perfect seat, it makes sense, especially with the binging model, that you can do the midnight screening from home with your VR headset. And we just talked about no kids after 6. Well, think about the parents that are being told by Regal and whoever else down the line, oh, you can't bring them into this. Sorry. They're like, well, fuck you. We're going to sit at home and watch the screening room then. We'll just buy one of these boxes. Because it'll pay itself off really
Great,
quick.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And so that could
Stay home,
that
yeah.
could be the solution. I've talked about this before. That is what the 4th episode of 2 Cents is about. That the theater going experience will die. It's going to be a niche thing like the Alamo Drafthouse, where people that are willing.
And I'm probably going to be one of the few people, that's going to
No, I
stick
think
out
everyone
with
that frequents their chain is going to do it. And same goes, for the ArcLight in Hollywood, or IMAX theaters, actual IMAX, that, if you're willing to pay the $20, you're going to go and you're going to be around people that want to pay the $20 and be in the environment that theater is supposed to create. And if you don't, then yeah, you're going to stay at home and either watch on VR or you're going to watch on the screening room. And hopefully, if they were smart, the screening room would allow VR viewing. But with the way that Netflix has blown up in the last couple of years and everyone joining in with HBO and Amazon and the binge model going first and A24 going digital only and a whole bunch of other things, that it can't last forever. And this is definitely going to be a turning point, the way that audiences respond to VR and if it does, kick off the way it's supposed to.
I'm giving the theater experience like 10 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like at that
Like
point,
multiplexes are just gonna fold, and it's gonna be the art house cinemas only, and maybe that would be a return of
True
indie
IMAX.
filmmaking. Yeah, true IMAX. They're gonna have to create something new. Like it's gonna be an actual 3D or not 3D, a 3D 360 screen, or like your seats turn to see certain action on the huge panorama or something. I don't know.
I mean, I don't even need that. Like my IMAX Star Wars viewing at the Chinese theater in Hollywood, that was perfect. It was much better than my first time around. Nobody
it
was
was
making noise.
It's a $25 ticket though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I gladly for a movie that I really want to see in that format, I'll gladly pay it. But for the most part, I would totally be a VR screening room customer. Absolutely.
Right? It's just
Well, this is, unrelated to that, but I paid $11 for Star Wars in IMAX.
well, fuck
so
off.
Well, good for you.
there you go. Yeah.
Technically, David
Prices
paid
are just so much
nothing. It was a
better out here.
Christmas present. Okay.
Yeah, this was a Christmas present, so I paid nothing.
All right. Well, still, the price was $25.
That sounds about
Yeah,
right.
it was yeah,
Like
it's
that. That's
No, we're
insane.
talking about the
I mean,
TCL Chinese theater with the laser
Yeah, I know
projection
that is.
IMAX
I don't.
3D.
I paid. Yeah, I paid like $20 for our tickets for the walk.
I don't know.
I didn't pay 25. So that's.
Yeah, that's
I
when a
imagine,
ticket's
they would
$20
bump it up
bucks.
for
It's
Star Wars,
it's about
though.
the same, really.
That's still. Yeah. It's not my $11.
If you're
out
seeing
here.
something like Star Wars, you need popcorn, so you're paying that extra $10.
I'm so deep into that movie.
No, that's actually a better incentive for me to see Batman versus Superman in IMAX, is I can only pay $11.
I'm not doing the IMAX. I'm doing the XD. So
I'm
I don't know if I do go see it, it will be to see what those scenes look like.
it's gonna be Batman jerking off in the shower. I'm the night.
You
I
wish.
wish. So
Well, that's not like an IMAX exclusive scene. That'll be in
maybe
the
just the
movie.
director's cut, which we're talking about later in the show. But we just talked about VR a lot. The final one that just got announced, the actual specs on it. If you've listened to the show at all, you know I love talking about VR, and especially Sony and their role in it. So Game Developers Conference was this week. Sony on Tuesday, they did an event that the public wasn't allowed to. There was no live stream. But here's what it breaks down to. The head-mounted display by itself is $399. It's going to be available this October. And they're also going to have a $499 bundle available, which comes with the 2 Move motion controllers, the camera required for the head tracking itself, and a Worlds of VR demo disc with 6 experiences. And those pre-orders start 7 a.m. Tuesday morning. I'm going to get one. I'm going to go to the place of my employment and put my money down. Don't care how much I got to pay. But Sony's promising over 50 games to come out before the end of this year between October and New Year's Eve, which includes the Playroom VR and tech demos over the last 2 years, including one that Dave would love, where you're in this cage in the deep sea and a shark is fucking with you. But on top of that, they're also getting an exclusive Star Wars Battlefront game from EA and DICE. And just to bounce off of what we just talked about before this with the screen room, Sony's promising what they call cinematic mode, which allows you to play all PS4 games in their native ratio and view media as well as view their PlayStation Vue TV service, all in with the huge giant screen right in front of your face.
Yeah.
So
my boner for this and this price point is so strong.
Right? Like, if you don't have a PS4, they're only $350. You can get one new pre-owned from GameStop for $320. So $320 plus this $500 bundle for $850, or let's just say $900 after taxes. Okay, you are ready to go balls deep in VR world. If you do the Oculus or HTC route, that gets you nothing. The computer alone is $800. Not even talking about not talking about the display, like the head-mounted display and the motion controllers. Like Oculus all in is, if you have nothing already, is like $1,500. HTC is like $16, and this is, like I said, like $9. They're selling this thing at a loss. They want as many people to buy one. I'm definitely getting mine day one. Like I said, I am pre-ordering on Tuesday. That's when Amazon's doing it as well, if you want to do it that way. Yeah, really, really excited that it's finally happening. They promised the first half of this year. They missed the mark by a fair amount. I'm not going to fault them for that, because they did get the price point that I've been dreaming about for over 2 years now, and that doesn't happen a lot with Sony. So kudos to them.
Yeah, good for them.
This is kind of related to that.
It's super cool. If I had a PS4, I'd buy one.
Maybe you should hold off, because there's the reason. There's a rumor going on that that was kind of raised during GDC game, that PlayStation 4.5 or PS4K, which is it's being called, is going to be coming out. Kotaku has multiple sources from GDC. It's going to be a midlife cycle upgrade to support not only 4K games, but also process VR content better. The current PS4 models can display 4K content for videos and photos only. So this could potentially make it a longer life for the PS4, and just get you more money get you more bang for your buck. But it raises questions about fragmentation. Are there going to be games that only work on the 4.5 and not the original 4? Are they going to stop selling the 4? This kind of is shades of what Sega did with the Genesis, which they added a 32X and the Sega CD, and then they had games that were Sega 32X CD. So hopefully this is just a rumor. Maybe they'll announce something at E3. It'll be like, get the PS4.5, the VR headset, the controllers, the game all together for $1,000 or something like that. And I think a lot of people would buy that thing if it is true.
I don't doubt it.
I don't know. It's just it's total speculation right now, because this is a rumor that came out the same day as the price point for the VR.
What sort of that really is, like, it's kind of a game of like either speculating or we'll just wait and see when it comes to everything with VR. Like I did try to go to a Best Buy actually and test it out, but they didn't have it out here.
They didn't have a Gear VR.
Nope, they did not.
That's really weird.
I'm still.
You should
on the
go
lookout.
to
They didn't have one out here. And I went to the biggest.
Most Best
Buy in
Buys
town.
have their Samsung area, and they have it there. I would try a Sprint store or AT&T. Go to a mobile spot, and they should have it. Or if not, I don't think they have Fry's in Texas, because as I say, that would be a sure thing. But
no, there's Verizon.
No, Fry's, the electronics store.
Oh, no, there isn't.
But I mean, Oculus is shipping in just like 2 weeks from now for the people that were able to get pre-orders out of the gate. I think April is when they're going to be available in retail. So you know, next time you go, maybe there'll be the Oculus and the Gear VR on the same shelf. But just a second ago, here's the last headline we got. I mentioned PlayStation View, which is their TV service that's going to be available to view. That's funny to say in PlayStation VR. This was available only in 7 markets until this week. It's now a nationwide service. It's Sony's over-the-top TV service. It is going to be available in 3 tiers in what they're calling slim packaging, which is the same as what it was before this announcement. But the difference is that it doesn't have live content from Fox, NBC, and ABC. All 3 of those networks are going to have VOD support within 24 hours of airing, and then CBS will be at a later month. It's super cheap to start off. It's just $30 a month without a contract, which is $10 less than the 7 markets currently with the live channels. And you can get crazy stuff in your packages: AMC, Discovery, Food Network, Comedy Central, ESPN, MTV, TNT. Not to mention, they have a cloud DVR in this service. You can stream up to 5 programs at once, and you can also access 60 mobile TV Anywhere apps through the networks themselves. So this is a lot closer competition to what Dish has with their Sling and what AT&T is gearing up for with DirecTV Now later this year. It is like a full-fledged, over-the-top service. I really want to do a trial. I probably will. You can get 7 days for free. The only catch is that if you are in one of the major markets, San Francisco, LA, Philadelphia, New York, I think it's like Houston, where live is available, you can't do the slim model, so you will be starting at $40. That was a lot to say. I did it pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah,
there.
I
for that price,
it's really
good.
good. Because if you think about, Netflix, Amazon, and HBO are all $10 a month at the very least, and this is only $20 more than that, but you get a ton of content with DVR, and you can do it on your phone. And this isn't just restricted to watching on PlayStation devices, but also iOS and smart TVs like Bravias and probably their Blu-ray players as well. But like this coupled with the PlayStation VR viewing and the fact that you can do the TV Anywhere apps. I think it's going to take off because, I mean, the market here in the name, is that they're trying to attract their PlayStation users, and they do have a pretty good infrastructure there that if you are a dedicated PlayStation gamer and you use the PlayStation Network to, rent movies or watch TV shows, then you're probably going to just want to watch TV in it for our generation, people that have never had a cable subscription. And so it's an easy way month to month to get what you want. Like I said, AMC, I want to see Walking Dead, but I only want to see until the season's over. Let me just pay $30 a month for 4 months, and then I don't have to pay anymore. So yeah, it is pretty good competition.
Or just wait till the episodes are like $5 on iTunes each.
No, I mean, see, that would be more expensive than a month of this, though. I don't know. Well,
for $30 for 4 months.
No, I'm saying $30 a month.
It's like $120.
Well, but I mean,
yeah, over the
you
course
have access
of 4 months,
to
like
more than
$120.
just The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that too.
Because, I mean, a Walking Dead season's like $50, $60 if you do that model that you were saying.
No, it's like probably $25. Like
You said $5 an episode? There's more than 5 episodes.
No, okay. If you do it through they're not $5. Like if you do it through Amazon, if they got the season pass, like it's
like
probably,
$30.
It's like 3 episodes each.
Yeah, Amazon is like
it's
$2.99
a little
an
less than
episode
that.
for an older show.
Yeah, like I did that for Breaking Bad, and I paid like $2.50 an episode in high def.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Sony already does that. Like they have the a la carte option, like I said, through PlayStation Video in the PlayStation Network. But this is live TV. So if you are somewhere and you want to see something, and
it's like there's sports, there's news, like it's not just restricted to a TV show.
Like it is it's them trying to be a full-fledged TV provider in the Internet of Things model. With this isn't cord cutting, but the never hads. But moving on to our tech section, my favorite thing every week. We just talk about VR and what PlayStation's doing with it. We also mentioned, their exclusive Star Wars Battlefront. Well, ILM X Lab, they've been showing off several things, Holo Cinema and the like. They have made a special Star Wars VR experience that's exclusive for the HTC Vive. It's called Trials on Tatooine. They demoed it this week at GDC. You can see a trailer for this on YouTube. It looks really cool. You're going to be able to use a lightsaber in this experience.
I don't
Bullshit,
want to do
you
that.
fucking liar.
No.
Everybody
I
wants
mean,
to
why
do
would I
this.
want to? No. Okay, lightsaber, yeah, but fucking Tatooine, really? I don't want to go there. That's the most fucking
I
boring
hate
thing. Are you
sand.
kidding me? That's the best that you got? Yeah, no, seriously, that always was the most boring place in Star Wars. Am I the only person that
It's an
thinks
important
that?
place.
Yeah, it's important, but every time they're there in the movie, I'm
The
like,
movies?
okay, please
You
go
mean
somewhere
movies?
cool. Seriously, yeah, yeah, all of them. Like, I think Empire's the only one where they never go. Oh, well, now in Force Awakens, yeah, but that's a different.
They have
fucking
they have a
uninteresting
different
planet.
sand.
They have a
sand-
different version of the same
it's,
shit.
yeah, it's the new
Different
Tatooine.
planet.
Point is,
Yeah.
who the fuck wants to go to Tatooine?
I
don't
didn't
wanna go to
think
Tatooine.
about it
I do in
that
this.
far.
I just want to experience this motherfucker.
yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna.
Star Wars.
I'm
VR,
not
I'm
gonna
just like, hey,
own-
okay, get me Coruscant, get me fucking Bespin, get me something else, and I'll do it. Yeah. But no, Tatooine. No, I'm not knocking hard on it or anything. I mean, yeah, that is cool, but no, I don't want to go to Tatooine. I'm sorry.
You're also not gonna buy HTC Vive. You have a shitty laptop. So.
I know. Fucking, you gotta fucking appeal to me harder, VR. Come on.
You're not.
Tatooine,
You're not the
really?
target demographic.
Come on,
here
guys.
At all.
I have the potential to be.
Are you gonna drop $1,500 for a VR set and a top of the line desktop?
Nope.
I've done crazier things.
Okay, I tell you what, you do this kind of crazy, and you can do a review on there. I just don't believe it, considering you haven't used VR yet. Just
Yeah.
gonna
no,
splooge out. Here you go,
no,
Amazon.
no,
Here's my
probably
money.
won't happen.
Here's my monies.
Here's my rent money. It's okay if I'm behind. For
Yeah,
like
it's
a
okay.
month.
I can just live in VR on the streets. I'll plug into like a McDonald's outlet. I'll just pretend I'm somewhere else for a couple of minutes at a time.
I'll just sleep in the break room for a
Totally, just live in the break room. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, they give you a locker, right?
month. I can live a month without being.
Right. It's like
evicted.
that
It's cool.
homeless
Fine.
to Harvard movie. It could be like that, like VR to virtually there. Exactly. This is the same thing. Like it's a running.
I got VR. Who needs real life?
This is a running gag we got here. VR. This new tech startup, Big Screen, one word, is creating a cross-platform app. It's going to work on HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and the Gear VR that replicates the entire Windows operating system in a virtual reality environment. So you're going to be able to do anything you can do without having to take off your head-mounted display constantly, which is a problem with Google Cardboard. You have to take the thing off. Oh, I want to do a different experience. I want to watch a different video. Put the thing on. You really lose that. You sever that tie of that immersion, of that virtualness, if you will. And so there's going to be social features baked in for gaming, watching movies together. We're just hanging out. This thing's going to be available in April for the major headsets, and then Gear VR at sometime down the future. So this is really cool, but like I saw this tech demo that PlayStation showed off at GDC. It's pretty long, so maybe I won't tweet it out. But it's meant for virtual meeting where you can you have like control of your hands and fingers, and when you talk, your avatar does. You make facial gestures, move around environments, and everyone that has done it has said that it or they did on stage anyway, that it's like 1,000 times more realistic than doing a Skype conference, and you feel one another, like you can actually emote, and it's like you're in the room. So yeah, hopefully this
Scary.
comes to PlayStation 2, or they have their own thing in the works at Sony.
Give it a couple years, it'll happen.
Give it a couple of months, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, this
Oh,
year
man.
everything's
Jesus.
gonna
If
go crazy.
I have lost count of how many times we've had that response, or that I have, of just like, yep, it's progressing. It's
well,
progressing.
it's
I mean,
getting to the, like I said, April
fuck, so
next
much,
month
man.
is
Yeah.
when Oculus is rolling
Yeah.
out, and so like April to October is gonna be really crazy
Yeah, all of
because
this stuff is shipping soon.
Uh-huh.
Like if you upgrade to a Galaxy S7, T-Mobile will give you a Gear VR
Yeah.
headset for free.
yeah, it's $100 for free. Or I found out that you can also get the Gear S2 watch for free, which is $300. My cousin picked the watch over the headset. I couldn't convince him. Well, I mean, if you do think about it, $300 for free is a better deal than $100 for free.
Sure, but
You know, but yeah, it's not even just T-Mobile.
Anyway.
It is like everyone. If you buy an S7 like before I think this month is up, if you were an early adopter, they're just throwing things at you to be Samsung fanboy. But yeah, if they don't support the thing, if the games aren't coming out and the movies aren't available and the experiences aren't there, if it's not a good time, if the apps aren't currently like coming out constantly, then that's just gonna not entice people to put their money down. And you really do need strong word of mouth for VR to work, because it's one of those things that if you don't experience it firsthand, you don't understand it. Like every time I'm at work and I mention the PlayStation Virtual Reality, almost no one knows what it is. They don't even know what the Oculus Rift is. It's on the back burner. It's still waiting for its moment in prime time. And I think that
you have to strap it onto people's faces,
Yeah.
and show them. We did that for a few friends
With your
a few
cardboard?
weeks ago, and it was like a whole different world. It
Yeah.
was like they'd never heard about it before then, but
now they're hooked.
they were so stoked.
Yeah, like how'd you get one of these? How much does it cost? What about these apps? Like you can't shut
Yeah.
someone up if they enjoy it. Even if they don't, they're still pretty interested. We've talked to David about on the show before. VR porn, it is a game changer. There is no going back. I mean, you can, but it's I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, it's the same thing with real sex.
No, it's not.
really.
Nope. VR, because think about it this way. In VR, you can be
Depends on the type of person
could-
you are.
well,
I realize that joke actually does not appeal
the kind
to
of
as many
person
people as I
you
thought
want
it
to
did.
be. In VR porn, you can be from the perspective of a woman. So you could get fucked by a dude. If you want to have a gay experience, you could do that. You want a lesbo experience,
fucking
you can do that
Strange
too.
Days did that, didn't they?
No, not like
Yeah.
this, though.
No, but I mean that was the thing in there that you know what scene I'm talking
Yeah.
about, right?
Was this a snuff film?
Yeah.
I don't do what do you call it? He was like, I don't do. I can't remember. He had a term for it. Ralph Fiennes, he had a term where he was like, I don't do the something. Doesn't matter. Go listen to that episode. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good movie too.
Just to be fair, though, I'm not all PlayStation. I'm not all VR. Microsoft, they're working on their HoloLens system, their augmented reality headset. This week they debuted something called ActionGram. It's an augmented reality app that allows you to record videos of CD additions to your living room. For example, you can get a T-Rex, a zombie, spaceman, unicorn. To kind of put this in layman's terms, on Snapchat, how you can have those filters where it's like you get the puppy nose, or you open your mouth and a rainbow comes out. It's going to be like that, but you can make full-on movies. This is aimed at the YouTube generation, where people that want to make home movies and aren't well-versed in After Effects or Cinema 4D or things of those lines. You can have a similar thing on the fly, right in your eye, literally, and you can show it off to your friends. So yeah, I'd like to see these coming out. I mean, it's going to be really expensive. The developer's kit is out now. Who knows when this is going to be consumer? And the HoloLens is probably going to be like a $600, $700 device at the very least. But it is nice to know that news is coming out from the other side of the spectrum.
Sure. I mean, you've also got Apple's secret, not so secret, super team of VR people working on some kind of Apple gear. Everybody's hopping on the train. Like,
The best thing I have to share is that the whole time when you were bringing this up, for some reason, I just kept picturing that chessboard on the
Right.
Millennium Falcon with the holograms. That's all that I was just thinking about. I'm like, fuck yeah.
I guarantee ILM X Lab has that already available.
yeah.
They probably
like,
already have the patent
Yeah.
on that.
So you want
I'm not.
that was the best. I think that was the best experience on the Jakku Spy VR when you're on the Millennium Falcon and you could look around the ship.
Yeah.
And they had
Yeah,
that come
yeah.
up.
You look at the table and they have
Nice.
the chess set. And it was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool. But I'm not anywhere near as excited for augmented reality as I am for VR.
Well, I mean, I think VR is just the fact that you can escape where you are currently and go anywhere is just more enticing than putting other data on top of where you currently stand. In a work environment or in how they use it, like, you can Skype someone who knows something about cooking and they can teach you how to cook what you're doing right in front of you, and like instead of looking, I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, the practical
Yeah, the-
applications
eventually.
are, yeah.
Like AR is going to be a great learning tool. It's going to be really good for commerce and business. But VR, it's definitely the consumer oriented entertainment technology, and There's just not, it's the allegory of the cave all over again, but now the cave is perfect and in 3D and right up on your face, and you can taste it. Staying with Microsoft for a second here, they announced something which could be groundbreaking if it actually happens soon. They're making cross-network play a reality. You're soon going to be able to do Xbox Live with PC users with the PlayStation Network if the developers are willing to do it. The natural fit here is Rocket League, which just became available on Xbox One. It's currently able to do cross-play on the PS4 with PC users and with Xbox Live with PC, I believe, too. So it would be really fun if all three could do it. But this is sure to be a reality, I believe, for huge titles like NBA 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, all of the top-of-the-line AAAs that already have such a big environment. It makes sense, especially for Microsoft, who's trying to stay afloat this gaming generation, to allow anyone to game with one another, and then hopefully Sony can drop their barriers and do the same. First party games are obviously off the table, but this would be really, really fun, and it could give them that next hope after their Xbox 360 backwards compatibility and all the other things that they've been announcing over the last couple of months, including which this week where they said the Xbox One is getting a momentary $50 price drop until the end of the week, which is probably going to stay a permanent thing. Yeah, really, I would like to kick some Xbox users' asses at Rocket League in a couple of months. Play that game so much. Who doesn't like soccer played by cars with rockets on their back?
I haven't played Rocket
League. You got to play it. It's a cheap investment.
I've seen you play it. I wish I got a chance to try it, but yeah,
$15,
fun.
Man. So good. So good. I
need the console first.
You can play it on your computer. You can play it through Steam. Yours should be fine enough. I got the Batmobile in the thing. I got the DeLorean. So cool. They were $2 each. That's like easy money.
Is it $15 on Xbox One as well?
Yeah, I got it for free. It was one of the instant game collection things for the PS Plus users. So it's like I got for $4. I got the full game plus the new Batmobile and the DeLorean. But I'm probably gonna play it tonight. Me and Luis play a lot. Just 2 or 3 more things, then we'll get into the film. That's probably why you're actually listening, but fuck off. I can make the news what I want it. So,
well, how many people do actually
not a
listen?
lot. I mean,
raise your hands.
Yeah, raise your hands, guys. Why don't you send some emails?
Shout out to Hyro.
Yeah,
Hyro.
Hyro listens. Luis does listen too.
Blackbeard.
Probably need more than like just slapping these tracks together. Put some room into it. And, you can tell I'm tired.
If you're listening, John,
my tongue is slipping while I'm
If you're
talking.
listening, John, there's a shout out to you too. But yeah, Twitch.
If Hyro's listening, King Cup for life.
For life, Blackbeard.
Never forget.
Yeah,
Blackbeard.
I lost that video. No, it's on Facebook still. It's on Facebook. Twitch announced this thing. They're dubbing Stream First at Game Developers Conference. The idea here is that games, hopefully in the future, will be designed from the outset with a streaming audience in mind. So instead of just something tacked on, they have a couple of games out there. There was like examples where it's going to be like streamers and their respective streams fighting one another, and both audiences and gamer alike will be able to work things out or fight one another. But this falls in line with the gaming engine that Amazon announced last month, Lumberyard. So you know that this is going to be baked into that. That's a free engine, so it only makes sense. Twitch is trying to take over the world. And proof of that is that they just got into the cooking game. Much in the same way that they introduced Creative last fall with their Bob Ross Art of Painting Marathon. This new cooking endeavor has launched with Julia Child, the French chef. I've watched some of this content before. You can watch, Twitch isn't just gaming anymore. You can watch people paint, do woodworking, glass blowing, cooking, obviously, like I just mentioned. Basically anything, yeah. And it really is becoming a lot like Justin TV was before it became Twitch TV. It's a live streaming tool. There's the same base guidelines across the line, and it's owned by Amazon, so it's a website that you can trust. But I wouldn't be surprised if, Amazon Prime started doing a spotlight on some of these streamers or some of their content, or maybe they make original programming in the same way that YouTube Red does, or something along those lines to kind of push their partners to make people really stick around. Because the number I think I read is that Twitch gets 110 million unique users per month. And at like any given time, there's like 1 million viewers going. So it's definitely a huge market. If you're a certain demographic, it really appeals to you. And now you can watch people cook. What's cooler than watching people play video games? Learn how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. Last thing in tech, and then we got some.
I would use that, yeah.
What, learn how to cook?
But well, I definitely need to cook more. It's one of those things where I need to spend less time getting food from 7-Eleven and actually make more meals for
There's
myself.
so much effort involved with that. Instant gratification's the son of a
hey,
bitch.
It's fun. It's fun. It's actually much more satisfying.
Except you have to wash the dishes after.
There's stuff I can cook. Well, not if you got a dishwasher, but
well, whatever. So yeah, last thing about VR.
The dishwasher does that for you. There
Made by a
you
black
go.
woman.
You just gotta put them in the dishwasher.
Well, no. Dishwasher's
Yeah,
made by a
that's it.
white lady because she was mad that her servants weren't good enough at washing her dishes and they kept breaking them. So she made an invention to put
There
them
you
out
go.
of work. It's crazy.
See, racism can bring good things in the world, right?
Sure. I mean, Mexicans are still washing dishes though, so not really. Like,
Well, isn't
yeah, you're in Texas, you get the joke. I think this is the last.
it doesn't matter where
Yeah, it does.
I am.
You're closer to the wall that's going to be made. I think this is our last VR piece on the show today. This company, 360 Fly, is hoping to make a big splash in action cams. They've partnered with this company called Livit, Livit, so you can live stream mobile VR content for as low as $400. And if you want to put up a little bit more money, you can get 4K at $500 in April. So yeah, this is gonna be a free app. It's gonna.
What's the bit rate for that?
I mean, I don't know. Obviously if you don't have T-Mobile, it's gonna really hurt your data plan. But this is really
Yeah.
cool, especially like, say you're doing extreme sports or like you're rock climbing, you're doing street luge or something. You want to put this cam on your helmet, and then anyone can tune in, kind of like Periscope, and just watch you in VR. Because things like this, they're already doing VR boxing and sports games. The Rio Olympics are going to be in VR. The First Lady did a VR interview just the other day. So it is becoming all over the place, Zing. And I think that, this is the obvious next step, allowing mobile users to do it and stream, for that matter. But yeah, it's definitely you're going to have a really good service for up and down, because I've tried streaming VR content, and it is not the smoothest thing. It is going to buffer.
Huh.
Then again, I don't have gigabit
Yeah,
internet or anything, so.
No, but I mean, it's one of those things, just like with 4K streaming, where I mean, they've improved since we've been laughing about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, give it some time.
I mean, if you have Google Fiber or you have Fios, if you have a top-of-the-line internet provider and their service anyway, their flagship, you can do 4K streaming right now. I think you only need 15 megabits per second down to do 4K on Netflix. So it's not, drawing at straws. It's not an impossible task. It's not meant for the grand scheme of things. It's not the massive audience. And then again, you got to remember, not everyone has a 4K display anyway. But yeah, it is exciting. But yeah, the last tech thing we got here, it's music. It's not something that we generally talk about. But SoundCloud has just brokered a deal with...
Is the place where you just put the Daredevil episode, right?
What? No. I mean, yeah.
SoundCloud.
Not the season 2, but
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I try to... I
That's the
try
news,
to
right?
make my organic name droppings better than that. But
That's the big news, though, right? Nothing else could be bigger
No.
than that. Exactly.
okay.
Not even
but
Sony,
yeah,
right?
SoundCloud has brokered a deal with Sony Music, allowing them to finally move forward with their music streaming service. They've already got plans with Universal, and Columbia and everyone else. So it's only got to be a couple months from now, especially since SoundCloud was thinking about shuttering their doors or something. I don't know. It's an okay service. It's just still kind of weird. But this kind of comes off of Sony securing the rights for all of the music that Michael Jackson owned with their joint partnership. Like Sony owns it 100% now. They own those Beatles songs and Bruce Springsteen and the Thriller music video and whatever else Michael Jackson owned prior to that. And this is important, and it's a perfect segue for film because one of the most batshit crazy films is going to come being made soon. Dan Harmon and his Starburn Industries, which did Anomalisa, is looking to snatch Bubbles, a Blacklist script about Michael Jackson's life seen through the eyes of his pet chimpanzee. This sounds amazing. It's looking to be stop motion, just like Anomalisa was, and I'm definitely going to theaters to see this thing.
I want
That
to see this
makes
so
perfect sense, and yeah, that's the best I
You
can say
need to
right
Google
now.
this monkey.
Please make it good.
This is like, okay,
I
so
wanna see this
he got
so
this
bad.
chimp at, like, I think it was like 86 or something, 85. The monkey sat in on the bad recording sessions. It went on tour with him. There's like videos of them like eating together in fancy hotel rooms and stuff. Like when he did his Japanese world tour, the monkey had his own suite in the hotel. But like there was something about like he got older and became like not as easy to handle.
Okay, the monkey's name
Yes.
is Bubbles, right? That's
No,
not
no,
just
yeah,
the name of
the
script.
monkey's
Yeah,
name
the
is
monkey's
Bubbles.
name was Bubbles.
The monkey's still alive?
He's still alive?
Yeah, like he lives in Florida in some kind of habitat or something.
Good for him.
He went to the funeral.
Probably. I mean, he probably knew Michael Jackson better than Blanket did.
Was in a tux and everything.
I'm not sure. He's hairy. Maybe he just painted on like a white thing.
Threw dirt on the coffin
Yeah.
and everything. God, no, that's
Monkeys
that's
never
mean, but,
forget. Look
the
at Planet
image
of the
of
Apes,
it's pretty.
man. They never forget.
I know that's mean, but I'm sorry. The image is just too good to pass up of a monkey at a
Just
funeral.
Bubbles. Just right there.
This has to be
Throwing
good.
Just there, very casual.
I
very-
really hope.
Single tear.
Imagine if they got Charlie Kaufman to return to their production company to do this. It seems like something that he would do. It's so crazy.
Does it? I mean, this seems like. I don't know. He manages to do like things that are weird and out there, but give them more substance. This just seems more like.
How often do we get the point of view of a monkey?
Because who knows what this is going to be? But
This is gonna be the life through a chimpanzee's eyes. That, like, what? Like,
I guess
with the same.
It depends on if you want to take it seriously to some degree.
It
I mean,
can't be
I'm
that
just thinking of
serious.
how absurd it is. That's,
It's like Michael Jackson's
Well,
first
hey,
biopic.
we'll see.
His from his ex pet's perspective. That's where we are in the world. VR and monkey
it
porn.
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and Chim Chim's gonna jerk me off with his feet.
Okay, that was a whole no. Didn't
What?
need that.
You don't know your stand up if you missed that one.
I don't.
Nope, sure don't.
No, I guess not. Enlighten me.
I don't spell things out. You should just Google that one.
What stand up? No, come on.
It's
Jesus
Dave
Christ.
Chappelle killing him softly.
Oh,
He's talking about how people got AIDS. It's like, once you have sex with monkeys, there's no going back.
that was the joke in there? I've not seen Killing Them Softly in a while.
I have the audio file. I rarely listen
Oh,
to
man.
it. but
All right, yeah. No, I got to rewatch it. Yeah, I don't
I think the
remember
whole
that
thing's on
joke.
YouTube. It could be in his other. I'm pretty sure it's in Killing Softly. Anyway, moving on to some release dates here. We got two before we talk about directors and their next projects. Amazon is teaming with Roadside Attractions again, who put out Chirac, to release their big Sundance grab, Manchester by the Sea, on November 18th. It's going to get a wide release after that. By the time mid-December's around and Oscar season's in full swing, it's going to be probably really, really wide. Last week, if you remember, we talked about Amazon going to do the 90-day policy before putting things out on Prime in the pay TV window. This is obviously going to fit that description. This is starring Casey Affleck. It's supposed to be like his best film ever. Yeah, I think this is going to be Amazon's next big film. I can't remember if they have anything else on the radar before then. But then again,
Oh, geez. I don't know. How many things do they have coming out? I mean, they're trying to double the amount of original content that they're putting out. So, I mean, yeah, who's keeping track
Jeff
of what they
Bezos?
have getting made right now?
Seattleans.
I mean, like online, who's paying attention to? Is there like I don't know? Is there a Wikipedia page that has all this stuff listed? or-
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, probably.
Jeez, man. Like, yeah,
Like Amazon
there's
Studios
so much
probably has a
stuff.
wiki page. They might have.
Yeah, I'm sure they got.
Amazon probably has
I don't-
its
I don't
own
know
wiki.
if it's all logged. Yeah. Well, there's a ton of stuff. It's
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know much about this one. I just know it's supposed to be really good, and they paid $8 million for it, and it's a Sundance flick. But staying with Amazon, A24 is releasing The Lobster on May 13th. If you want to hear our take on it, I reviewed The Sucker on DollarViews008. Pretty interesting. It is good that it's getting an actual release. It kind of got jumbled around. I think it might have been one of the Relativity flicks. Yeah, pretty weird Colin Farrell film about, finding a partner you turn into an animal. Very, very strange. Definitely, it did well at Cannes. It feels like a Cannes movie.
Yeah, I didn't ask you this, but if you, with the concept of that movie, if you were in that situation, which one would
Not
you
a
choose?
fucking lobster. A flying squirrel. Or a cat. For sure.
Yeah, I go with lion.
I don't know why if
Lion or
like
wolf,
if you
I
were
don't
if
know.
that was a real reality, why don't you just say fucking like a fantastical creature like a werewolf or a fucking dragon? If they can turn you into an animal, you think they can turn you into anything, even if it doesn't actually exist.
Golgotha?
Yeah. Well, that's not an animal.
Yeah. You said anything.
An animal though, because it's supposed to be like in the movie. It's a
Well, dragon's not really
It's a
an
shit
animal.
demon. Yeah.
well, I think a dragon's an animal,
Not really.
No, that's okay. I think it's more of a reptile.
and
but,
a reptile's an animal.
Yeah. Yeah.
An
yeah, if you can
animal is
fucking
any
turn into a
being on
lobster,
the
then,
planet
yeah.
that can't speak.
Not really. No.
Jesus, I don't know.
Basically.
Can I?
Well, not an
No,
insect.
we're
Excluding
animals.
insects. We're an animal, but if you said you go to a zoo to see animals, you don't talk about people watching,
And I don't. I would just take. I'd pick something that could tear a person.
Like I said, a
to
dragon.
shreds. That's yeah.
Not a fucking lobster. But yeah, that I can't really recommend it. Like I said, you can listen to that episode, number 8 of Dollar Views, if you want to hear my full take on it. But it definitely is strange. If you like really quirky, weird indie romance stuff, you'll probably like it. Plus, the director, Vilmos, whatever the hell his name is like all over the place. So he's gonna be a person to watch in the near future. But yeah, directors, like I said, David Wayne. He's making a biopic about one of the creators of National Lampoon. He's gonna star Will Forte, who I love, on The Last Man on Earth, and it might be landing at Netflix. It's named A Futile and Stupid Gesture. It makes sense that it would go to Netflix if it in fact is. David Wayne has a history there with Wet Hot American Summer, First Day at Camp, and I kind of want to see this just because like I said, I do love Will Forte. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm gonna nut. MacGruber, best movie ever.
Yep. Yep.
I'm gonna bust in you. Oh yeah. I'll stop. I gotta watch The Last Man tonight. I've been liking this.
I wish I could remember a
mid-season
Val
so far.
Kilmer line right now, but
So there,
I have not
Steve.
seen that movie
Did
in
you die
forever,
from
so-
laughter?
Hmm?
I think he might have died. Should I call him?
Steve
Can you
dead.
hear me?
I don't know.
Can
I
you
can't
hear
hear him. Are you there,
Hello?
Steve?
Can you? Yeah, I've been here
Oh,
the whole
I went
time.
to a coma or something.
I was responding back to you. You didn't hear me.
No.
Nope.
Well, it's on Audacity, so I don't know. It's
I'll
weird.
find it in the cut. It'll be weird. Yep. Another weird movie, as we may know, or you may know as well. Sundance this year, there was that the first couple's first date movie. What was it called? Like Summertime in the Park or something like that.
Yep.
About their first date in 1989 Chicago, which I still have to see just to see if they go to do the right thing at the end of it. They're making.
You can just read it on Wikipedia.
Oh, I want to see the thing. It's supposed to be like Before Sunset, but with the Obamas. They're making another movie about the lame duck. President Obama is getting another early days biopic. This one's called Barry. It's about him in college days when he was in New York City. It's written by the guy that did Go to the Fuck to Sleep, that children's book that Samuel Jackson read on YouTube. Hilarious. And it's directed by Vikram Gandhi, who did 2011's Kumare. L.R. Coltrane and Jason Mitchell, a.k.a. Eazy-E from Straight Outta Compton, are joining the cast, which already includes Anya Taylor-Joy from The Witch, and newcomer that Steve McQueen found for his pilot HBO. So with the cast right there, like, maybe it could be good. I'm guessing that this is also going to be a Sundance movie or TIFF or something like that. I don't know what to think. It's probably going to be bad, though. I don't
know, this thing of, well, it's two already. I hope this isn't a trend of
Oh, there will be more.
There definitely will be more. There's going to get the full-on biopic
if Trump
about
gets elected. God, imagine.
not even about that.
imagine
Just
what we'll
there's
get,
going to
yeah.
have to be the full-on like biopic about how he became president and changed the world, or
Well, yeah, like years
Like
from now.
5
I
years
don't know,
from
it's
now.
just while he's still in his presidency.
like I said,
do we
he's a
still-
lame duck. He's barely in his presidency anymore. He can't do anything at this point that's really going to make any real ground. Like he's on his, his.
Technically
It's, just,
untrue,
it still feels
Well,
like it's
okay,
too
well,
soon to have
He's
any
on
sort of legacy
his award
whatsoever.
tour right now. He's just having fun at this point. I think he's like, the stress is over. I really doubt anything groundbreaking is going to happen in these final, what is it now, 7 months.
Supreme Court nomination, but
Like maybe he's putting his finishing touches on his memoir and
yeah, it's not 7 months. He's still got 10 months to go. Like the inauguration is not till late January.
yeah, but I have a feeling like once November rolls around, when that first Tuesday,
The true lame duck period
Yeah.
traditionally begins.
Yeah, no. We'll
He's
we'll
just
be
gonna be-
focused, but
he's
still
gonna be
gonna
sitting there
working.
going, "I'm so happy I don't have to do this anymore." Am I right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he'll
for
be
2 more
he'll be
months.
very relieved once there's a president.
He's still got stuff to do.
Can you imagine
man.
if his hair like stops being gray, like it reverts back? He just says like miraculously,
to like his 2008
Yeah.
youthful glow.
yeah, he's all suave looking again. He gets all fancy. I was talking to David about this off air. I'm pretty convinced that our president Barack Obama is going to have some kind of Hollywood career, whether that be cameos or full-fledged acting roles. He has 2 Grammys. He's done audiobooks. He has a great voice. I'm sure he's going to get another Grammy. But maybe he gets like something. He's got to get something. If it's not him, it's going to be Michelle Obama. I mean, she's already been on Sesame Street and like Billy on the Street. So she, like I said earlier, she had the VR interview. So she does have a presence. She does have an audience, and so do the First
Yeah,
Kids.
she really puts herself out there in
yeah.
the media.
So
I believe it more of her than of him. I think he's gonna write a shitload of books.
yeah, it's like what's he follow up the Audacity of Hope with? How do you, beat that title? It's
8
easy.
fucked up years. I don't know.
Something.
Very stressful time.
How I gave America healthcare, and that's gonna be the whole book. It's gonna be the whole thing.
They said no.
They said no, and I gave it to him anyway. The Bill Cosby story. I lied. We got a couple more directors here. I kind of messed up the order. Guillermo del Toro, who we love on this show, and I think everyone on the internet loves for that matter. He's working on a movie. He's working on 1,000 movies, but this one he's actually writing, directing, producing. It's a Cold War romance flick at Fox Searchlight. There's very little known about it, except Octavia Spencer is circling the starring role. I really hope that this is marketed the right way, because it kind of sounds on paper that it's similar to Crimson Peak. It's just maybe they say this is a war movie in the same way they said that was a horror.
Well, I think Fox Searchlight they're probably gonna go the more limited route and make it more based on word of mouth instead of putting it out wide. I'm
We
guessing.
got no clue. I mean,
Yeah, I mean that's usually what they do. There's very few movies that they've put out on a wide release.
I mean, he already tweeted out about this because all the trade said what I just said. A Cold War romance, and he what did he say? He was like, it's not exactly a romance. It's just like there's romantic moments or something like that. Like he was already countering the way people say what he says.
Well, did he say specifically horror or supernatural in there at all?
No, I'm not saying about this. I'm saying that's how people promoted and expressed Crimson Peak was. He wasn't on Twitter at that time, so he wasn't able to give his 2 cents. That's what we're here for. But yeah, like I said, I'm sure he's tight-lipped right now. He doesn't want anything to come out. He's a very secretive guy. He doesn't like his projects to be known really before they come out in theaters. He just says that he's doing.
It's funny because
Yeah,
he
he
always
announces them.
He always
Yeah,
overpromises and
it's like I got a Haunted
underdelivers.
Mansion movie, and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and Pacific Rim 2, and Hellboy 3, and who else? Who God else knows what else? So many movies. Very
Yeah.
talented guy. Really hope this one's good. Final director, we got Ethan Coen. Probably don't know the name. Not important. He's the guy that did Get Hard. He's gonna be remaking Cannonball Run at Warner's. I'm looking forward to this. I really like that first movie. It has a really good cast. Have either of you seen it?
No.
You're not familiar with the concept?
I'm familiar
Okay, so
with the
imagine
title.
Rat Race, but instead of getting there by any means necessary, you have to drive a car across country.
Okay.
So just it's
It's
okay.
like it's like the Amazing Race, literally.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. Okay, yeah.
I
no,
feel like this is gonna get a lot of people on board. Like that first one, I can't even remember everyone that's in it. I think it's like Burt Reynolds. Like I don't even know. Just look it up. They made a chain of them. I think they made like 2 or 3 films. Get Hard wasn't the best movie. I only saw like 6 or 7 minutes of the thing. But
That's okay.
I think that wide racing humor might work here. I'm sure Warner Brothers is going forward with this because of the success of Mad Max. It's like, well, we can't do another car chase. Why don't we do a car race? It'd be really cool if Mad Max made a cameo. Just
Probably
definitely
not.
not. But
I'll just bring Tom Hardy in.
better
there,
yet,
yeah.
what if it's Mel Gibson?
Tom Hardy
Both
and Mel
in the
Gibson.
same car. It's like one's driving the motorcycle, and the other one's in the bitch seat.
Or you just have them like pulling up next to each other. Just,
It's like that Vin
you know,
Diesel moment at the end of
doing a dick measuring
at the end of
contest,
Tokyo
yeah.
Drift when Vin Diesel rolls up. Hell
Spin
yeah!
off or
Intercool.
no, not spin off.
The intercool.
Yeah, crossover.
One last piece of casting news, and then we're almost in TV. Simon Pegg has joined Ready Player One. We love talking about this movie on the show. He's been cast as Ogden Morrow, who's kind of like the Wozniak of the story. He's the co-creator of the Oasis. He seems a little young for me. I'm sure he'll do good with the makeup. Maybe it's just like he's going to be playing the Avatar as the great Morrow in his real skin, and then the real world, like I said, they'll throw on all the makeup. I know you've read the book, David. Do you support this casting decision?
No.
Right?
It wasn't really what I had pictured.
kinda
in my
weird.
head. Yeah.
Picture an
I
old
thought,
dude with a beard.
Yeah. Or a tall, skinny dude like Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I could with a beard. I could see Jeff Goldblum with a beard.
Yeah.
So I still really hope, but with this casting, I doubt it's going to happen. I really hope, and a lot of the internet is that Willy Wonka himself will return to play the Willy Wonka of Ready Player One. It would be really cool if Gene Wilder came out of retirement for this one last role.
For like a quick cameo.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, it wouldn't be a cameo because if you think about it, that Anorak isn't the smallest character. It's kind of it's not a lot of scenes, but he would have to have a presence, and I think that if in the way that the source material harkens back to so much pop culture, that it would be really nice and a good feeling to see Willy Wonka play the VR version of himself in this
that'd be
story.
cool.
But who knows? Like I said, Simon Pegg doesn't seem quite right. But then again, you couldn't tell it was him in Star Wars. So my faith is with Spielberg and whatever he's doing here. The cast seems good already. Ty Sheridan, Olivia Cook, and Ben Mendelsohn. So nothing bad yet, but this is not the best one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say bad, just a little weird.
A little weird. So 3 things for Warner Brothers here before TV. They're all related, Batman of one way or another. The first of which is really cool. We already kind of talked about this months back, but now it's 100% confirmed. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are going to be reprising the roles as Batman and the Joker respectively in DC Home Entertainment's adaptation of The Killing Joke. I really hope this is one of their better ones. I just saw Year One a couple of weeks ago, and it wasn't great. But given that the voices that everyone connects with the characters are back, it has to be good, right? I kind of wish this is even R-rated, if that's possible.
I mean, like it helps definitely. It makes it more appealing, but yeah, it's all just going to come down on how it's written and how it's animated, all that. So yeah, really,
Yeah, Mark
we'll
Hamill
see.
posted a still of it on his Twitter. So I don't follow him personally because he tweets a lot, like a lot. He'll retweet like anyone that says something nice about him. Um,
You should do that. Get us
Yeah.
more exposure.
He's like, hey, I got a podcast. We talked about you for like 4 minutes. Please retweet us.
Do it off the Dollar Reviews Twitter.
Yeah, you just fuck the other 2 hours. Just those 4 minutes where we talk about you in Star Wars. It's good enough. If Luke wants to be gay, he's gay. It's one of those,
That's what happens when you make out
right?
with
That's
your
what I
sister.
said. It's like you
Yeah.
must have really liked her if you went to just dudes. Well, like I said, other DC stuff. That R-rated director's cut of Batman vs Superman. If that extra gore or whatever it is wasn't good enough, we're also getting 30 extra minutes at home. David.
Well, wasn't that already
Oh,
confirmed?
this is like making the rounds is confirmed now. Zack Snyder, I read the interview that he did for The Hollywood Reporter. He says like it's 30 minutes longer. He doesn't say it's exactly, so it's probably like 25. But among those minutes is Jen Malone's character, which was hit the cutting room floor for the theatrical cut. I'm sure there's going to be more flashbacks. I hope it's more origin Batman stuff before he fights Supes. And then probably just more, universe building stuff. They got my money already for the theater. They definitely just got my money for home. I'm going to buy that Blu-ray combo pack or whatever when it comes out for, $50 or whatever it is. But David, before the show, you were saying
No
you're skeptical
comment, yeah.
about this. You're kind of upset that the version that you're seeing isn't the final version.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person who tends to always like the director's cut, and I get disappointed when I spend big money at the theater, and then the experience that I get is not the full experience that I get later on. But whatever. I'll
That's what I said when this news got announced, was why would Warner Brothers announce this right before the movie comes out? Like, you're telling some people that you're going to get a supposedly inferior version, or it's going to be already a potentially different version, and you don't know which one's going to be the best one to
Look
get.
at the multiverse. It's just a different world. Okay.
Well, I think that's what
different
I'm.
It's
That's what
weird.
I don't like, is that they've announced it already.
Yeah, like, you can wait after and just be like, hey, this thing that you like? Well, you can get
It
some
is
more of
strange.
it. But
I think
it's weird to like approach something in the theater with just the idea that like, oh, there might be something better coming out later. Like, having that idea in the back of your mind is one thing. Like, oh, they might do that, but to have that confirmed right away, like, no.
I mean, this news came
that's kind of a
out
blow.
right around the time, not the R-rated thing, but the 30 minutes around, when Netflix season 2, of Daredevil is coming out. So maybe it was their way to kind of counter what Marvel was doing this past week. I hope so. It's definitely just trying to build hype. I mean, we're only 4 days away now, so it has to be something like that. Speaking of, we just talked about director's cut and Daredevil. Both the director's cut of that 2003 Ben Affleck movie and the second season of the Netflix show. We have episodes for both. They're all over the place. You can find them on YouTube even already, and SoundCloud, as Steven pointed out just minutes ago.
Yeah, and the director's cut is great. Second best Batman movie,
Yes.
according to
So,
Yep.
last movie news we got here, also Warner Brothers, also DC. They've rekindled their interest in a Lobo adaptation, which I frankly don't quite understand. It's undoubtedly to counter Deadpool's success. He's a similar character in the DC universe. Wonder Woman writer is working on it right now from scratch. This was previously in development with Guy Ritchie, then Brad Payton, and The Rock was originally cast before moving on to become Black Adam, which he'll be in Shazam in the years to come, and probably Justice League as well. Like I said, I don't quite understand this. Lobo's a joke character. He's a riff on Wolverine. But whatever works. I can't imagine this is going to do well. It's like a deep-cut DC character that even fans that read the comics aren't familiar with. He's only out there so much. I do own a singular Lobo comic, though. I don't know what to say. I said it all.
I'll take your word for it because I really don't know
Yeah,
anything about
same
Lobo.
here.
he's been in development for since the mid-90s. It's just like he's barely even in the New 52 as far as I know. But power to them. Like I said, this has to be Deadpool counter programming, just to let people know that they're not just the serious comic book makers. But jumping into TV, comic books are staying there. We got a date for the Preacher Show at AMC rather. It's going to be premiering May 22nd. I am not excited, but I am looking forward to it. Hopefully they don't fuck this thing up.
People have dug it already. People really dug it out here.
Well, they're not going to say anything bad about it. It's set in Texas.
Well, no,
it is a comic book property. It's on AMC, and it's Seth Rogen.
It's supposedly a good enough pilot that they want to keep going, and they're upset they can't binge it right now. That's what I've heard from quite a few people already.
Well, they're not going to binge it to begin with for like 6 months. So
I know. That's what I'm saying. They're upset that they
bizarre.
can't. That's that's the model that's out there on Netflix right now. People are already accustomed to that. Like, I mean, how soon do you think it's going to be till AMC and HBO do the whole binge model?
Well, you know what they can do? They can go out there. They can buy all 9 volumes of the Preacher comic book series. It's already been printed. It was completed in the late 90s. Tell them to go spend some money. Better yet, go to a library. Matter of fact, they can download the fucking thing if they want. Don't wait for Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen to put their vision on the screen.
Hey, you don't know how it's going to be, and it's don't forget about the other guy's name. They only worked on the
I know that
pilot,
Jesse Custer doesn't have a mullet, so it's already off. Just saying. It's not my Preacher. Strain. It could be good. Like I said,
man.
Not excited, but am looking forward to it. Probably the most audacious or just flabbergasting news this week is there was a leak that happened, or maybe it was a trial. I can't remember. But Judge Judy Shineland from Judge Judy fame, she makes $47 million a year from CBS for her shitty court case show. I don't know how she sleeps at night. Well, she must sleep really well. She has the money to buy whatever fucking bed on the planet.
47 million
a year, and she's been on TV for like 20 years. So it didn't start there, but you have to know she's been making that money for the last couple. My parents watch that shit on a Monday through Friday.
It's got to be really, really hard
Right?
for her. I mean, that's $5 million shy of making $1 million every week.
It must be.
But
You got to remember, she's a public figure,
really
so
tough.
she gets probably money to speak places and for being a spokesmodel, and she does have several books out there. Was she ever a real judge, or is she strictly a TV judge? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Well, it's at the same time, you hear her name and you've seen her face, you recognize her just on the spot when someone brings it up.
She's a bitch.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've never watched a full episode. I mean,
It's
I don't know about
entertainment.
you,
No,
but
I've seen several. I know someone that's been on it. It's entertaining television, to say the least. But so is the People's Court and any other of those shows that are exactly the same. Her thing is that
It's still 47 million. Like, yeah, after all this time, yeah, that's a success story right there.
Sure.
I can't say I'm surprised by that. Like, if it was 200 million, then yeah, that'd be fucking ridiculous.
This is
but
TV though.
I don't know, 47
Where
million. Well, no, for something that you can see every day.
Yeah, she's on TV every single day.
Every
But
day.
I think the way they
Yeah.
do it is like when they have the taping, they record like 3 or 4 episodes at a time. They probably do the whole week in one shoot, and then they don't record again for like a week or two. But yeah,
So-
And then there's
work.
probably syndication on other channels for older
the
stuff.
turnaround is
so-
really quick though. You'll watch an episode and they're like, when did this, and you gotta remember that they're already in court, so these incidents that happened a while ago, and they're like, oh yeah, October of last year, and you're like, holy shit, like this just happened. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. The biggest star news here, and this could have been in the headlines, but I decided fuck it, the headlines were already long enough. Jonah Hill, in my notes it says Jonas. Jonah Hill and Emma Stone are teaming with Cary Fukunaga on a show called Maniac for Paramount TV. He currently has a 2-year deal there. He's going to direct every single episode of this thing. It's an adaptation of a Norwegian show. The synopsis for the original is that this guy named Maniac, or the show rather named Maniac, revolves around Espen, who's going to be Hill's character, a mental patient at a psychiatric ward who escapes reality and lives in a fantasy world in his mind. This is a reteaming of Hill and Stone from Superbad. They obviously have great chemistry. He was fat back then, so maybe he's lost a little charisma with her. Maybe he thinks he's actually going to get it in now. But who knows where this is going to turn up. It's Paramount, which means Viacom, so it might be MTV. But who knows? Hey, look at Kuroki. Meow. No offense, but home makes a fucking joke. Okay? I'm not going to stand here and make tiramisu by myself. When am I ever going to have to know how to make tiramisu?
Sorry for cursing. Fuck, God. I want to watch that, man.
It's on, it's on HBO right now? No.
Nope.
I
I actually own the thing. But
It's on the
I
cloud.
sadly have the unrated cut. Because it was Amazon Black Friday like 4 years ago, and it was $1.99,
Yeah.
and I didn't read the fine print.
The unrated cut's kind of whatever. I have that too on DVD, and my digital copy ended up being theatrical.
Yeah, you got lucky.
So,
What I want to do is I want to
Yay.
get the Blu-ray with both
Yep, got
cuts,
lucky.
like I did for Gensera Marshall.
no, the Blu-ray's
Really?
only got the unrated cut. Yeah,
Yeah,
had to
like I
sell
said, my
that because of
Gensera
that.
Marshall has both, and I know the unrated for Knocked Up is the same on Blu-ray for some of the prints. But Netflix,
What do you mean by
that
the
it comes
same,
with
like?
both cuts.
Okay, yeah, for the Blu-ray
Yeah.
definitely does. Yeah, the DVD I have does not.
That's a
which is
cheapo bare
bummer,
bones.
but-
How you got fucked deal.
No, it was a
That's real
2-disc
sad.
DVD. Just without the it doesn't have the cut. That's the
Pretty
only
sad.
thing that's missing.
So a lot of Netflix here. We talked last week about the Tick going to Amazon and that Patrick Warburton wouldn't be returning as the character. Now we know why. He's going to be playing Lemony Snicket on Netflix's Series of Unfortunate Events adaptation. If you remember, Neil Patrick Harris is counted off. We don't know anyone else that's involved. We also don't know a date. I think it's going to be later this year. I wouldn't be surprised if it's already finished the season. They're doing effects work and ADR and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know where this stands. I don't know if they're making this for a younger audience, if it's going to be like a PG-13 thing, or what.
They're just appealing to people that are our
Maybe,
age
that's
when
what I'm
the
saying, like,
books
I
came
don't
out.
know.
Yeah, maybe. That's what I was thinking.
Because I don't know how many kids still read that book. I don't know if it's relevant anymore.
None.
I mean, the movie came out so long ago that you would think that the demographics kind of slipped.
Yeah.
But
And it wasn't even that
it wasn't
good.
that bad. I thought Jim Carrey was pretty funny in it.
Yeah, he was ideal casting for the role. I mean, the
Well, not
makeup,
even
yeah,
Count Olof. I just like that
like-
he played like 3 or 4 different pivotal characters. 'Cause that was what I did enjoy about that movie. That it covered like not just the first book, but like the first 4, which made sense. Was it just the 3?
Yeah, it was just 3.
it-
Yeah, it was 3, and that felt
Well,
uneven to me.
it
but
made
then
sense,
again, the
though.
books are
Yeah,
short
they're-
enough that how could you
They're
drag
so
that out?
short. I mean, it's not The Hobbit. You're not going to make fucking 3 movies, you know. But yeah, I don't. Who knows?
you could
If they
try.
do the
Just do a lot of Passion of the Christ. slow
if
motion,
they
it can be
do
done.
the 1-hour show, it'd be really interesting if they did like an episode per book. 'Cause there's 23, I believe. Is that right? 21.
There's
books?
13.
No, there's 13
I
books.
think.
Is it only
Yeah.
13? I
12 or
thought it
13
was
books,
like
yeah.
a big number.
No, it's 13.
I never read the last one. I grew up.
I only
Wait,
read
hold
the
on.
first 2, so
Yeah.
I didn't like
I
the.
think it's 15.
I didn't like the writing style where Lemony Snicket would go, and that person was really presumptuous, and that means that someone thought they knew everything. And, like every couple of pages, they would teach you a new word. That way, I'm like, yep, this is published by Scholastic. Can't get into it, but yeah, we'll see how this turns out. I'll definitely check it out. Maybe we'll have a review for it up whenever it's available.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Patrick Warburton in the role. I mean, I feel like I don't know who they got to play Lemony Snicket in the movie, but the way that he was presented, that was fairly accurate in terms of just how I pictured it in my head when I read the books. So I mean, this already does seem quite different, especially when you got Neil Patrick Harris in there. Like the movie, it even borrowed from the illustrations
Especially
of
in
the book
that
specifically.
stuff from the
So
second book.
so I don't know what they're doing here, but
Like
yeah, I'm not complaining. It's not something I need, and if it's good, it's good.
like I said, other Netflix stuff. Joe Swanberg, Mumblecore, basically creator. He's making an 8-episode comedic anthology series at Netflix. It's titled Easy, and it's about people figuring out love, technology, culture, all while living in Chicago. Lots of talent involved, including Dave Franco, Hannibal Buress, and Orlando Bloom. he's going to be directing and writing every episode of this thing. I hope this is good. Like, maybe, you know, it's going to be kind of like Love was, and now in our review for that on Dollar Reviews, I think it was like episode 7, I said, you know, Master of None, Aziz Ansari's show, is kind of like the precursor of a whole nother comedic romance thing that they're going to be trying to do, and this definitely kind of verifies that. Makes sense. It's going to be, you know, 30 minutes each, so 8 episodes, even if it's an anthology, it's kind of just like a 4-hour movie. So this is definitely meant for the binge model. And I hope nothing but the best. I hope it turns out really well.
Yep.
Joe Swanberg. 2 more Netflix things here. Like I said, this is like the exact same carbon copy, just not Mumblecore. They're making a different show that's going to be part of their lineup later this year. It's a comedy called Santa Clarita Diet, and this one is starring Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant. It's the first time that Drew Barrymore's ever done a TV show. So that's big, and you know, Oliphant obviously did Deadwood, Justified, and he's on whatchamacallit on Fox, The Grinder, as himself, which is kind of funny. I've seen a couple of those episodes. But yeah, this is, you know, usually Netflix gets big name directors like Joe Swanberg. They get someone behind the camera, not necessarily in front of it. But
unless it's a revival show of something. That's
Drew Barrymore, that's a big get for the streaming giant. I mean, her star power has dropped in recent years, but she definitely has the name brand recognition, and you know, her family name has been known for over 100 years in filmmaking. So I'm sure people will turn out for that.
Another thing that's nice is just like from the way that Netflix has been casting their stuff. Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant, that's not an obvious matchup that you would think of. I mean, you know, especially like in comedy, would you really put those two together? So I mean, it seems like, I don't want to say it's a risk, but you know, it seems like they're at least trying to do something different that people haven't seen before, and that's where, you know, how it seems like when shows are coming out, that seems to be part of the appeal. I mean, am I crazy in seeing that?
I mean, Timothy Olyphant, he's done some comedic stuff, but he's definitely known as a dramatic actor.
Yeah, The Girl Next Door. That's probably.
I think he's also in.
That's the only one I can think of.
Shit, I can't remember. I was gonna say something. I can't remember what it is. Let me look it up. I know he's definitely in 1 or 2 other comedies. I think he's in Catch and Release with Jennifer Garner and Kevin Smith.
He is. Yeah, he's
But that movie's not funny.
I liked it.
It's no.
I mean, it's
movie.
not.
It's
not super
not
dramatic
funny.
though. I mean, it's life affirming, and there's some funny moments.
Yeah, but it's far more heavy on the drama. It's not funny. Like, there's some chuckle-worthy stuff, but yeah,
maybe
funny.
I was just getting a chuckle from seeing Kevin Smith in something where he's not playing himself. That's it. Well, he's in Mother's Day coming out this year, so you know, that's already proof that, you know, he's in a couple of things. And like I said, he's on The Grinder.
Oh yeah, you forgot to mention The Flash, by the way.
What about it? That he's directing an episode? I don't think that's news for this show. I mean, that was known before the mid-season break.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Because, like, he's already done shooting the episode, in fact. Apparently, Jason Mewes is going to make an appearance in the CC Jitters coffee shop in the episode. He said that he's not going to, so it's not going to be a Jason and Bob crossover. I doubt it. I think they will. Like, he posted a lot of stuff on Instagram, and one of those was him wearing, like, a Secret Stash jersey. So either way, I'm pretty excited. But I'm more excited for the Supergirl episode. I think it's this upcoming week. That's going to be their crossover, and that's going to be like the soft lead-in to the mid-season premiere.
I don't know. I don't watch either show, but I thought the promo was.
No, I didn't watch that promo. I'm not interested in Supergirl. I just want to see this one episode. Last thing about Netflix here. Chelsea Handler, she has a Netflix talk show. Everyone's known this for months and months now. Has a name now. It's just Chelsea. It's going to start airing 3 times a week beginning May 11th. It's going to be every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So this should be interesting. I mean, Amazon, they also have some live talk show stuff. But I'm still kind of skeptical about how Netflix is going to do this, especially when most people just tune into their stuff to binge things. You can't necessarily binge a talk show. So we'll see. I've never watched her.
Yeah, that really does sound weird.
I've never watched any of her talk show stuff. But she definitely has a good market. I think one of the only things I've ever seen her on was The Muppets this season, where she was pretty funny. But yeah, last thing on the show, Hulu. They've become the exclusive streaming home of Curious George. They have a pack with for future seasons and movies with PBS. All the episodes that are currently on Netflix and Amazon Prime are going to vanish from those streaming services soon. So if you love them or your kids do, watch them before they're gone. Or get a Hulu subscription. That's what they're banking on. And the news here is that this is one of the highest watched programs on PBS Kids. And the fact that, Netflix and Amazon, they're trying. They know that kids are a big part of their subscription model. Like Netflix has a kids-only, channel, if you will. And so this makes sense. Hulu didn't really have an entry into this, and now they do. And
PBS is losing all their kids programming. I mean, with this and
Sesame
Street.
Street. Sesame Street's still on PBS. It's just that
left?
it doesn't premiere there. It's like months down the line. I have a feeling like that this is the same deal here. I think that Curious George is going to stay on PBS. It's going to be streaming only on Hulu. And this is a big deal for people our age that have kids, like we talked about earlier on the show with PlayStation View, that don't have a cable subscription. They all do everything through streaming. So the fact that a big streaming model for TV like Hulu is, making children's programming available, or, I'm not just going to say children because I'm sure there's adults that like Curious George as well. I know I liked those books as a kid. I'm not sure I would like them now, but that's not me. But yeah, I don't know. That's the show. You guys made it. We made it.
God. And I got to work, too.
We're not on this. I'm saving you a little bit.
No. After this, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's quite a trek.
Woo!
Ooh, yay.
Yay. So if you liked what we said, you can find us on Twitter. I'm Brian Gillis. That's at BRYONGILLIS. You can also find Steve at S_MTX.
S_.
David's kind of on
Same
Twitter, but he has a
Letterboxd.
protected account, so good luck getting to that. But if you're curious anyway, it's at DAJUNCO. Once again, you can find us at Dollar Reviews, also on Facebook, YouTube, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud. Going to be on Google Play Music very, very soon, or so they promise. Looking into launching a Patreon site in the near future, and just all over the place. So yeah, thanks for listening. We'll catch you soon.
Have a good one.